Hello and welcome to Home and Mom Stories. Winter can be a challenging time for houseplants due to reduced sunlight, lower humidity, and colder temperatures. However, with a few thoughtful adjustments, your plants can thrive during the colder months. Here are some expert tips for taking care of your houseplants when the weather turns chilly. I have learned few tricks over the period of time and which really works well for me, so I would love to share them over here. Winter days are shorter and the angle of sunlight changes, meaning your plants may not be getting the amount of light they need. Here is how to help them adapt. Move your plants closer to windows where they can receive as much light as possible. South facing windows generally offer the most light, but east and west facing windows work well too. Plants will often grow towards the light, so rotating them every week ensures even growth and prevents them from becoming lopsided. Another good idea is to consider supplementing natural light with grow lights, especially for plants that require bright or medium light. LED grow lights are energy efficient and can provide the necessary light spectrum for the indoor plants. Considering the winter season in my part of the globe where it gets darker around 4 pm in the evening and sun only shows up on a few days, I was looking for bigger plant shelf with grow lights and which can accommodate many of my plants. I would like to thank Barrina brand for being kind enough for gifting me this adjustable plant shelf with LED grow lights. This is a 4-tier plant shelf with 6 grow lights and package comes with a built-in plant stand installation instructions and necessary tools required for the assembly. This plant shelf from Barrina brand offers an advantage of having wheels which can be locked and relaxed as required and makes it easy to move. Each level shelf can hold 90 lbs of weight of planters. So total load it can withstand is up to 360 lbs. Each tire shelf can hold plant trays to grow or display indoor plants, and each layer is equipped with waterproof pads to prevent water from getting Barrina plant lights wet while watering. Honestly, to my opinion, this is one of the sturdiest plant shelf I have come across. This plant shelf comes with 6 LED grow lights and all the necessary cables and accessories. The grow lights can be installed in 2 different ways. One can try whatever works the best for them. And the instructions for installation are given in detail in the manual. These greenhouse grow lights are full spectrum, similar to the natural sunlight and accelerate photosynthesis, which can help plants grow faster and better at various stages of their life cycle. This plant shelves and grow lights combo from brand Barrina comes with a timer. After setting the 24-hour timer socket and keeping the power on, the Barrina light will automatically turn on at the same time the next day. Well, it gets darker around 4 pm in my region, so I have set the timer for the same time. Temperature control is very important during the winter months. Avoid placing plants near cold windows, doors, or vents. Cold drafts can shock the plant while the dry air can cause dehydration. So if you have to, place your plants a few feet away from the heat source. Most houseplants prefer temperatures between 15 to 25 degrees Celsius, so make sure the room stays consistently within this range to keep your plants comfortable. Winter conditions can affect the moisture levels in the soil, so it's important to adjust your watering routine. Plants tend to need less water in winter since their growth slows down. Use your finger or a stick to check the soil. If it is dry a couple of inches below the surface, it's time to water. Ensure that the pots have proper drainage to avoid waterlogging, which can lead to root rot. Let the excess water drain completely. As a general rule, water less often in winter, but don't let your plants completely dry out. Plants like succulents, cacti, and many tropical plants will need even less water than usual. Temperature of the water is a really important factor which often gets ignored. Always water your plants with room temperature water, as very cold or very hot water can shock the roots and damage the plants. Winter air is often dry, specifically if you have a central heating system, and this dry air can negatively impact houseplants. So here are some ways to boost humidity which really works well for me. Using a humidifier is one of the most effective ways to maintain consistent humidity levels in your home. Keep the humidifier near your plants for the best results. Placing plants close together and creating a group generates a microclimate with higher humidity, as the moisture from their soil and leaves will evaporate into the air. Creating a little green corners here and there not only enhances the humidity of that area but also looks aesthetic. Another great idea is to place a shallow tray filled with pebbles and water beneath your plants. As the water evaporates, it raises the humidity around the plant. Other important and effective idea to maintain humidity is to lightly mist the plants with water, and it can temporarily increase humidity. But be careful not to overdo it, as wet leaves can lead to mold or fungal growth. Dust accumulated on plant leaves can block sunlight, so regularly wipe down the leaves with a soft cloth. This will help the plant absorb more light and breathe easier. Well, when it comes to fertilization, I would suggest to cut back on fertilizing during the colder months. especially for plants that go dormant. You can resume feeding in the spring when the plants start actively growing again. I only fertilize those plants which show multiple new foliages, just to provide nutritional support to the new growth. While so, I stay very mindful about the dose and dilution ratio, if any, given on the product leaflet to avoid over fertilization. And now, last but not the least, let's talk about repotting and planting activities. Winter is generally not the best time to repot your plants, as they are in a slower growth phase and may not recover as quickly from the stress. However, if your plant has outgrown its pot or requires fresh soil, it's okay to repot, but be mindful about certain things. While choosing the pot size, avoid choosing a pot that is too large, and excess soil can retain too much moisture, which can cause root rot. Always use fresh and well draining soil while repotting, especially if the old soil has become compacted or depleted of nutrients. What works really best for me is the mixture of potting soil, perlite, and orchid bark. I have used this soil since a long time for all of my house plants, and believe me, this soil mixtures work really amazing. So give it a try and do let me know in the comments how it is going on. Winter can be a challenging time for houseplants, but with the right care, your green friends can continue to thrive. By adjusting your watering routine, improving humidity, managing light and temperature, and performing regular maintenance, your plants will weather the season beautifully. With these tips, you will ensure that your house plants not only survive the winter but also come back stronger when spring arrives. And that's all about today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful. If so, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you have anything else to add, feel free to leave the idea in the comments along with your feedbacks. Share the video with other plant parents you know. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care, happy winters and happy planting. Bye for now.